people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. Today I'm filming a video from inside a hotel from Boston, Massachusetts, somewhere that I did not expect to be right after tour. Tour ended last week, like 3 days ago, and I ended up taking a red-eye flight with my best friend Bren and her family over to Boston, where I am currently residing in. That's kind of a bomb. That's kind of like a, whoa, what the heck, turn of events type of thing. I have never felt more peace about a situation ever. And it's interesting because something that I wasn't super vocal about was that all of tour I felt very torn. I felt like these past 7 weeks of tour was really showing me things about myself that I didn't really know before, things that have always been there but things that I didn't really see. It was a very big time of like self-reflection and self-discovery, and in that time, like I mentioned before, I learned that I love to learn so much. I want to ask questions because I want to learn, I want to understand, I want to find truth. And I learned that I love throwing a football so much more than I originally knew that I did. But you guys, through all that learning, I also learned that I was feeling very torn. Throughout the first half of tour, I was actually feeling so uneasy in my heart because I felt like I didn't really have a home. I felt like I didn't really have a place to comfortably go back to, and I can't even really explain why. It's just that, to be real, the past year I have moved 4 times. It has been exhausting, and not having a place where I can come home and kick my shoes off and just be was really hard for me. And so being on tour, it was interesting because I actually found home on that tour bus. Of all places, I know it technically was my home. After every show we'd be like, okay, let's go home now, as in back to the tour bus. Then we'd be sitting in the kitchen and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go to my room now. And I just go into my bunk and just slide my curtain shut and go to bed in my room. But you guys, I found home on that tour bus by realizing that I don't know if home is always really a place or if it's like a feeling. Maybe home is found in a person. I think home is where you feel at peace. Home is where you feel like you belong. Home isn't always 11 people on a 12-person bus with, gonna be real, sometimes a smelly bathroom and a dirty little mini kitchen and nowhere to sit down because there's random musical instruments everywhere. It gets chaotic. Nowhere to put anything. It was great. Anyway, I really found home in this time on this bus because I was with people that, oh my gosh, really knew me and understood me. And I know I've said that before and about how important people are, and I've even talked in, I think, my video last week about how important people are and how friendship changes the world. But I realized that you can find home in that, and I did. And so on this tour, I redefined what home felt like for me. And so I prayed every single morning and was like, show me the way, wherever you go, I will go, open up the next door, I don't know what I'm doing. Show me where you want me to go, because not knowing where I wanted to go after tour was stressing me out like crazy. During the Boston show on the tour, Bryn lives here in Boston, and so she started to talk about how much she loved it, and we started to talk about Boston and what kind of opportunities would be here in Boston and how I could take different classes, because Boston has a very academic environment. There's so many schools here. It's actually the first place I've lived since Colorado that isn't an entertainment-based city. And I got to thinking and praying, and I was just like, maybe it's Boston. I've always thought it was either LA or Nashville. And then a few days before tour ended, I got offered one of the coolest, greatest opportunities in the world in Boston. I'm not gonna give the details about that yet, but it feels too good to be true. It's something that brings all the purposes about who I am and what I want to do to life. And it's doing that in a city where I get to experience new things and meet new people and live in the same spot as my best friend. It's crazy because this is by far the most spontaneous thing I've ever done. When I was taking that red-eye flight over here, I was just like, what? But I woke up the next morning in Boston and I just had so much peace. My heart just feels alive, and I'm really excited to share this journey with you. Here's to in the next chapter. Here's to not knowing what's next, because sometimes it's really scary to just say yes. But sometimes you have to just say yes. Sometimes you have to just go on that adventure. Sometimes you have to just take that opportunity. Sometimes you have to just move. Life is not always going to be how you expect it to be. If I've learned anything at all, it is that, because my life looks nothing in a million years like I thought it was going to look any of the time of my life. If that made sense, I don't know. It's crazy how when we're following Jesus, that just makes way more sense. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing in an hour. I mean, technically I kind of do, but who knows is what I'm saying. Life is an adventure. Life is an opportunity. Because what adventure are you living? What story are you living? We're supposed to live an intentional story. There's so much out there. You guys, I want to be around people who do things. I don't want to be around people who make fun of people doing things, who just talk about people doing things. I want to be around people who love to do things and who do them. As Lemony Snicket once said, if we wait until we're ready, we'll be waiting for the rest of our lives. So here's to a new adventure. Here's to a new season. If my life and these random things interest you at all, please follow me on my journey. Watch whatever happens on Instagram, Facebook, Patreon. If you want to get more involved in what I'm doing and you want to have a more intimate connection via the internet, then join my Patreon family. That's also where we're sponsoring kids from Compassion International and where you get first dibs on all the things. And also, I wrote a book. It's called Be Free. I'm super pumped about it. It is just a memoir about my life. It's a story about my journey finding freedom, my journey finding truth, my journey from getting from where I was 3 or 4 years ago to now. It's really special, and it's a story that I hope to continue writing. Really excited to see what the next chapter looks like. So yeah, all of those links are in the description box below. If you live in Boston, comment and tell me. Let's be friends. Let's get coffee, okay? Cool. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week.